Hello friends, welcome to EPG Pathshala. Today we would be talking about Biomedical Waste Management Rules 2016, wherein we would be talking about what exactly do we understand by biomedical waste, what are the risks involved in the biomedical waste, why is it important to deal with the biomedical wastes, and lastly, what are these rules of 2016 talking all about. Now let us start with the Biomedical Waste Management Rules 2016. Medical care is vital for our life and health, but the waste generated from medical activities represent a real problem of living nature and human world. Improper management of waste generated in healthcare facilities cause a direct health impact on the community, the healthcare workers, and on the environment. Every day, relatively large amount of potentially infectious and hazardous wastes are generated in the healthcare hospitals and facilities around the world. The growth of hospitals are a good sign of advancement and increase in the healthcare facilities to the masses, but there is a rising concern with respect to the disposal of the biomedical wastes. The quantum of waste that is generated in India is estimated to be 1 to 2 kgs per bed per day in a hospital, and in addition to that, 600 grams per day per bed in a general practitioner's clinic. In order to tackle the problem of biomedical waste, the Government of India, in exercise of its power conferred to it under Section 6, 8 and 25 of the Environment Protection Act 1986, published the Biomedical Waste Management and Handling Rules 1998, which were further amended in the year 2016 and now are known by the name of Biomedical Waste Management Rules 2016. According to the Union Minister of State for Environment, Forests and Climate Change, Prakash Javadekar, he specifically at the time of releasing of these rules pointed out the fact that these rules are going to make a big difference to the Clean India mission. There is an immediate need which is felt or was felt by the Government of India to draft specific rules for the disposal and management of biomedical wastes, and the reasons for this were as follows. First, the hospitals were disposing of wastes in a haphazard manner, improper manner and indiscriminate manner. Second, there were lack of segregation practices that was resulting in the mixing of hospital wastes with general wastes and making the whole waste look like hazardous. And the last, inappropriate segregation ultimately resulting in an incorrect method of waste disposal. The specific rationale for the hospital waste management can be summarized as follows. Hospital waste management is a part of hospital hygiene and maintenance activities. In fact, only 5 to 10% of hospital waste, that is biomedical waste, is hazardous and not the complete one. But when hazardous waste is not segregated at source of generation and mixed with the non-hazardous waste, then 100% of it becomes hazardous. The question then arises is that what is the need or rationale for spending so much amount of resources in terms of money, manpower, material and machine for the management of hospital wastes? The reasons are as follows. First, injuries from sharps leading to infection to all categories of hospital personnel and waste handlers. Second, infections in patients from poor infection control practices and poor waste management. Third, risk of infection outside hospitals for waste handlers and scavengers and at times general public living in the vicinity of the hospital. Fourth, risk associated with hazardous chemicals, drugs to the person handling wastes at all levels. Fifth, disposables being repacked and sold again without even being washed. Sixth, drugs which have been disposed of being repacked and sold off to unsuspecting buyers. And lastly, risk of air, water and soil pollution directly due to waste or due to defective incineration, emission or ash. Now the next important question that we need to study or understand is what exactly do we understand by the term biomedical waste. Biomedical waste means any waste that is generated during diagnosis, treatment or immunization of human beings or animals. Management of healthcare waste is an integral part of infection control and hygiene programs in healthcare settings. These settings are a major contributor to the community acquired infection as they produce large amount of biomedical waste. Biomedical waste may have serious public health consequences and a significant impact on the environment. Sound management of biomedical waste is thus a crucial component of environmental and health protection. The biomedical waste management rules define biomedical waste as any waste which is generated during the diagnosis, treatment, or immunization of human beings or animals, or research activities pertaining thereto, or in the production or testing of biological, or in health camps, including categories which are mentioned in Schedule 1 appended to these rules. The Schedule 1 mention 4 categories of biomedical waste, which include human anatomical waste, which includes body parts, organs and human tissues, etc. Animal waste, which includes experimental animals, their body parts, organs, tissues, including the waste that is generated from animal used in experiments or testing in veterinary hospitals or colleges or animal houses. Third, soiled waste, which includes items contaminated with blood, body fluids like dressings, plaster casts, cotton swabs, and bags containing discarded blood, expired or discarded medicines, pharmaceutical wastes like antibiotics and drugs, chemical wastes, chemicals used in the production of biological and used or discarded disinfectant, and chemical liquid waste, that is liquid waste generated due to the use of chemicals in the production of biological and used or discarded disinfectant, which includes silver X-ray film developing liquid, infected secretions, etc. Further, it also includes discarded linens, mattresses, beddings contaminated with blood or body fluid, or microbiological or biotechnological and other clinical laboratory wastes, which includes blood bags, laboratory cultures, stocks or specimens of microorganisms. The second category is the category that deals with contaminated waste, which is also to be taken as recyclable waste, waste that is generated from disposable items such as tubings, bottles, catheters, urine bags, syringes and gloves, etc. The next category is a category that deals with waste sharps, including metals, that include needles, syringes with fixed needles, needles from needle tip cutter or burner, etc. And this also includes used, discarded and contaminated metal sharp. And the last category which is mentioned in the schedule is glassware, which includes broken or discarded and contaminated glass, including medicine vials and ampoules, and also includes metallic body implants. Further, these rules specifically state or the enterprises or the people to which these rules are going to be applied to. And if we look at this, it specifically mentions that it is applied to all persons who generate, collect, receive, store, transport, treat, dispose or handle biomedical waste in any form, including hospitals, nursing homes, clinics, dispensaries, veterinary institutions, animal houses, pathological laboratories, blood banks, Ayush hospitals, clinical establishments, research or educational institutions, health camps, medical or surgical camps, vaccination camps, blood donation camps, first aid rooms of school, forensic laboratories and research labs. Further, the rule also talks about the establishment to which these rules would not be applied to, and these are radioactive wastes because they are covered under the provisions of Atomic Energy Act 1962, hazardous chemicals covered under the Manufacture, Storage and Import of Hazardous Chemical Rules 1989, solid wastes covered under Municipal Solid Wastes Management and Handling Rules 2000, lead acid batteries covered under the Batteries Management and Handling Rules 2001, hazardous wastes covered under the Hazardous Waste Management, Handling and Transboundary Movements Rules 2008, waste specifically covered under the E-Waste Management and Handling Rules 2011, and lastly, hazardous microorganisms, genetically engineered microorganisms, because they are dealt under the rules of 1989. Now, the basic approach of the hospitals with regard to waste management can be categorized as follows. The process of the biomedical waste management consists of 5 steps. First, waste collection. Second, segregation into appropriate colored bins. Third, storage of biomedical waste. Fourth, transport to final disposable site. And fifth, the final disposal. The general rules governing the management of these biomedical waste can be summarized as under. First, segregation of the waste. Now, it is important to understand here that the healthcare facilities, which are also known by the name of HCFs, which are generating this biomedical waste, must segregate the biomedical waste, that is the waste which is involved in diagnosis, treatment and immunization of animals as well as humans, all the time at the time of the generation itself. Further, a duty is cast upon the occupier to make provisions within the premises for a safe, ventilated and secured location for storage of the segregated biomedical waste in colored bags or containers to ensure that there shall be no secondary handling, pilferage of recyclable or inadvertent scattering or spillage by animals, and the biomedical waste from such place or premises shall be directly transported in a manner which are prescribed in the rules to the common biomedical waste treatment facility or for the appropriate treatment and disposal. Further, a healthcare facility means a place where diagnosis, treatment or immunization of human beings or animals is provided, irrespective of the type and the size of health treatment system and research activity pertaining thereto. The HCF can store this waste up to 48 hours. The treatment of this biomedical waste is done by the biomedical waste treatment and disposal facility, which is any facility wherein treatment, disposal of biomedical waste or processes incidental to such treatment and disposal is carried out and includes common biomedical waste treatment facilities. The second step is the step that deals with the collection of biomedical waste. It is important duty which is cast upon the occupier to take all necessary steps to ensure that the biomedical waste is handled without any adverse effect to human health and the environment, and in accordance with the rules, and to further make a provision within the premises for a safe, ventilated and secured location for storage of segregated biomedical waste in colored bags or containers. Further, it is a duty of the biomedical waste treatment and disposable facility, which means any facility wherein treatment, disposal or biomedical waste or processes incidental to such treatment and disposal is carried out and includes common biomedical waste treatment facility, to take all necessary steps to ensure that the biomedical waste collected from the occupier is transported, handled, stored, treated and disposed of without any adverse effect to the human health and to the environment, in accordance with the rules and guidelines which are issued by the central government, or as the case may be, the Central Pollution Control Board from time to time. Further, it is also the duty to ensure that the collection of biomedical waste from the occupier is done by this common biomedical waste treatment and disposable facility. The color coding with regard to the segregation of this biomedical waste is as under. First, human anatomical waste, animal waste and microbiological and biotechnological waste are to be kept in bins which are of yellow color. Waste sharps are to be kept in bins which are of white color. Discarded medicines are to be kept in bins that are of black color. Soiled wastes that includes dressings or POP casts in containers which are of red color. And infected plastics that include syringes, gloves, plastic wastes which are to be kept in blue colored bins. The third step is the step that deals with the transportation. And the transportation of the biomedical waste from the premises of an occupier to an off-site biomedical waste treatment facility should only be done in vehicles which are authorized to carry such material with a label of biohazard. The fourth step, which is one of the most important steps, that deals with the treatment of this biomedical waste, on which all of these biomedical waste management rules are based on. It is the duty of the occupier that he shall hand over the segregated waste to common biomedical waste treatment facility for treatment, processing and final disposal. No occupier shall establish on-site treatment and disposable facility if a service of common biomedical waste treatment facility is available at a distance of 75 kilometers. The treatment of biomedical waste is done in the following ways. The first step is the step that deals with deep burial. The waste that are included in category 1 and category 2, that generally includes human anatomical waste and animal anatomical wastes, can be accorded with deep burial and only in cities having less than 5 lakh population. Further, the site which is chosen for deep burial, animals should not have an access to that site. The pits should be distant from habitation. Area should not be prone to flooding or erosion. And the site which is being used as a deep burial site should be a site that is authorized by the prescribed authority. The second process that is followed for the treatment of biomedical waste is autoclaving and microwaving treatment. Autoclaving is a low heat thermal process whereby steam is brought into direct contact with waste in a controlled manner and for sufficient duration to disinfect the waste. Effective sterilization results in destruction of the bacteria, the viruses and other microorganisms. The third step which is followed is the step that includes the process of shredding. The plastic, which includes bottles, IV sets, syringes, catheters, sharps, which includes needles, blades, glasses, etc., should be shredded, but only after chemical treatment, microwaving or autoclaving. Needle destroyers can be used for disposal of needles directly without chemical treatment. Shredding is a process by which wastes are D-shaped or cut into smaller pieces so as to make the wastes unrecognizable. It helps in the prevention of reuse of biomedical waste and also acts as an identifier that the waste have been disinfected and are safe to be disposed of. The last method by which the treatment can be done is known by the name of incineration. It is a controlled combustion process where waste is completely oxidized and harmful microorganisms present in it are destroyed, denatured under high temperature. Usually this process is used for the waste that can not be reused, recycled or disposed of in landfill sites. Now, after understanding and discussing what exactly do we understand by biomedical waste, it is hereby important to note that dealing with biomedical waste is not just a legal necessity but a social responsibility as well, and so therefore there has to be proper management of the biomedical waste that has to be done. Secondly, what is important is that the segregation of the biomedical waste that is to be done or is being done has to be done properly. And lastly, which is the most important step, that is, there should be proper education that should be provided to the healthcare facilities and also to the people who are dealing with these biomedical wastes so that they are disposed of properly and they are not a hazard to human as well as environment in general. Thank you.